So the one who keeps juggling, popping in and out of your life continuously, non-stop, what are they hoping for? Why do they keep doing this? Why are they so on and off again? Do they love you? What are they hoping for? Did I already say that? Yeah, probably. So that's what we're going to find out. That's the cards I'm going to pull, and we're going to ask and find out what exactly, because they're definitely popping in and out of your life. 1 minute on, 1 minute off. And why? Right? So smash that like button. Please subscribe if you haven't yet. And let's get into this reading.
I just can't let you go. Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one. No one likes being lied to.
All right, now, what is going on? Maybe you're dealing, well, maybe you're not. You're dealing with someone who's confused, I'll tell you that. Or are they? Okay? We do have Aquarius and Gemini showing up here, okay? And you're definitely in a position of like, come on, bring me some clarity. What's going on here? Or you're seeking that right now, okay? You are. Libra. Okay. But we want to know what's going on. Is it because you're a truth teller? Are you trying to give clarity to someone that doesn't want to have accountability or take accountability for themselves? Are you dealing with someone who just wants access and doesn't want to give anything in return? Is that what's going on with this person here? Is that the person that you're dealing with? Are you too much for them? Are you too independent? Are you too strong? Do you have boundaries? Is that where you are? And so they keep coming and testing these waters, right? Just to see if you're going to break, see if they can still get access to you. Yeah, okay. I feel like whoever you're dealing with keeps trying to come back in and sell you some kind of miracle that you guys will be together happily ever after. But they seem to me to be very unstable, right? 1 minute up, one minute everything's good, everything's going great. And the next minute it's like, where'd they go? Did they ghost? Is there an explanation? Do they just disappear, not respond to your calls or your texts? Okay, so this is a little bit of a roller coaster energy, for sure. Now, let me just say something here. And I'm not telling you to change if you're setting boundaries with someone here, but I feel like this person is highly intimidated by you and really crazy attracted to you. You're like, they look at you like a star, and just when they get close enough, they run away. They do. They run away. They view you as like a shining star, okay? But they do like even some kind of miracle that's entered into their life. And it's almost an energy of like, okay, well, is this a real person? Can this possibly be happening? I feel like they kind of come in and pinch a little bit to see if you're real. Once they realize you're real, then they get scared and they run away. Like it's a little ding dong ditch action happening. Hold on a sec. Little ding dong ditch energy happening with this person. And it feels like it's uncomfortable. And I feel like you're trying to get clarity on like, what in the heck is going on here? And you're probably spinning your wheels, trying to get this clarity from this person. Trying to get at the truth, okay? You're struggling because of that. And I feel like the reason why you're struggling is that they're not revealing what's going on with them. Could be a Scorpio energy here. So yeah, they're not really revealing what's going on with them. They're keeping themselves at like some kind of a distance from you. And it's very uncomfortable. Because there's a lack of, like I said, accountability. There's a lack of being truthful. There's a lack of being open and honest with you. Seven of Swords in the reverse, and you caught him. You're calling him out. I feel like you're calling this person out and really not staying in a state of confusion or trying to figure out what the heck is going on. I feel like you're more in a situation here where it's like, okay, there's a pattern. You're seeing some kind of a pattern here, and it's not healthy. I don't feel like you're down with this. I don't feel like you're down with this energy, right? At all. Okay? And I feel like this person possibly returns and makes an apology or says that they're sorry, or, you know, not going to do it again, or they just say that they're busy or they got something going on. And it feels like it's a lot of excuses. Even if they actually have something going on, it does feel like it's a bunch of excuses. I really love you. I want to be with you. I love our connection. But I feel like they want to try to keep it more of a simple connection. You know what I mean? Keep it more simple. Just get on the same page. Nothing too deep. But like on the flip side of the coin, they want something deep, but they're afraid of it, right? Which is really not your problem, okay? In a sense where, I mean, it is kind of your problem, because if it's string along kind of energy, or if you have feelings for this person and they're having a hard time coming to get closer, because maybe there's a feeling of being trapped, a sense of, you know how some people, believe it, there are some people who associate love and relationships with being trapped. I call them more avoidant types. They have a great big fear of that. So I kind of get a sense what's going on here is that's what you're dealing with here. Someone who's avoidant, they have a hard time getting close. They're mostly coming back when they feel safe and there's no requirement to get close, but it's kind of like impossible. They keep themselves, because you're fire, you're the fire. So they keep themselves, you know, don't touch the fire, but stay far enough away where it's still warm, not too far away where it's going to be cold, but not too close where I'm going to get burned. And so that's a fear, okay? That's their fear. And whether you're going to burn them or not, that's not the point. The point is they must have some kind of trauma. So maybe they try to keep it like a friendship kind of thing. And meanwhile, here you are trying to repair this relationship. You're trying to repair it. Just tell me, let's talk. And that's you trying to repair it. And the more you're trying to find ways to make them more comfortable, or to get them to open up, or to be direct with them, and just, you know, damn it, just the truth. Just the truth. Do you want to be with me or not? And I don't think they can really even answer that question. I feel like they do want to be with you. But I feel like they fear the love, because to them love equals trauma or being trapped, okay? And I don't really feel like that's the question. I feel like it isn't a lack of attraction, and it isn't a lack of feeling that they have for you. This is like someone who is kind of like, well, we can hold hands, but we can't hug. Even though I want to hug. Even though you're the best thing that's ever happened to me. You're like a miracle that's come into my life, and here I am ruining it. That's them saying, speaking out loud. You are the best thing that's ever happened to me, and I keep failing my relationships. And I don't know why. And I don't want to lose you fully. But I'm too fearful to get close. That's them talking. I'm channeling that energy. And so the world in reverse, they're stuck on you. Okay? Unfinished lessons, unfinished business. And that is why they keep coming back and coming back and coming back. They're trying to work out some kind of past trauma or something that happened to them prior to you, through your relationship. Yeah, they're pretty confused. And I just feel like you're there doing all this extra work to keep the relationship going, trying to get your needs met. You're the one doing all the repair work, and you're not even the one damaging the relationship. At least that's not what I'm seeing here. I feel like you're being open and direct and honest. Totally honest. Sending love letters, talking about how you feel, telling them you love them. Which probably is doing damage to this type of a person because they fear that. So, okay, what are you supposed to do? Well, I guess if you want this relationship, you're going to have to just stifle your feelings to a certain extent. And just talk about the weather. Talk about politics. Talk about the everyday events. Talk about career, money, current events. Surface level stuff. Because they feel safe in that. But is that what you want? So you can have the pain now or you can have the pain later. That's really the question. Does this mean this person's going to change? Well, even if they do, how long will it be? And how long are you willing to wait? You have to have boundaries. You do. This person has boundaries, and their boundaries are, this is as far as I can go. This is as close as I can get. Take it or leave it. And so the question you need to ask yourself, of course, is that going to work for me? And I'm going to have to put a boundary up, or am I, with this relationship? Which means that popping in and out behavior is very, unstable. It's very unstable. Okay? Being able to commit for a small amount of time and then having an inability to commit. Struggling, feeling overwhelmed by the emotions in the relationship and getting close like that. I mean, you do you, babe, but I don't know if this is really what you want. I feel like what you want is for them to heal and for them to, work on not being fearful of love, because love actually equals freedom. It actually does equal freedom. But this person associates love. I don't know, they must have had way too many hugs when they were little. More than they needed. Over smothering type of, they experienced someone in their past who was extremely smothering. And maybe even very insecure. And put them in this position where it left a bad taste in their mouth. And they associate, it's some kind of conditioning they had. I think getting enough hugs is good. But too many hugs, I don't know, that crosses a serious threshold. It's like some enmeshment, perhaps, from another person or a parent. It doesn't have to have happened in childhood. It very well could have happened in another relationship. But I see this person putting up their boundaries to protect themselves from love. And can you imagine being in that position where it's you want so much to have that affection and that love and that support. You crave it so much, but you fear it at the same time. The dissonance going on in this person's brain must be that's someone who's battling a massive war in their head. And there you are trying to fight the battle for them and keep the relationship alive. I mean, are you really happy with that? are you okay with that? Do you want to keep doing that where you're getting those crumbs? You're getting an in and out, off and on kind of relationship. I don't feel like you do. And I feel like it's time to give up the fight here and start getting the support that you need elsewhere, because I don't really feel like you're getting that support. Not from this person. And again, I gotta say, I don't feel like it's that they don't love you. I feel like they have the feeling of love, but they don't really bring it out too much because they're afraid of getting close. Now, I'm sure there's a lot of ways you can create space for them to feel safe. And that's something I feel like you'll have to research and figure out how to do. But if you've done it all, and you've seriously, you all went to counseling, or you read self-help books, or you tried to find ways, I don't feel like I feel like you're triggering something within them, but I don't feel like you're the reason for it. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is something that happened before, long before you came along. And they're very conflicted. But I feel like for you, you need that recognition as a partner. And I feel like, well, maybe you need it or you don't, but I feel like maybe that's what you want. You're looking to be recognized as a partner in the relationship, not as a helper, not as a fixer. And there's justice, right? These are two win-win cards here. So what's going to be a win for you? If you're that person that's like, I'll help. But, if they're not asking for help, then no, you cannot help them. If you're just trying to fix them or fix the relationship without them asking, that is just going to turn into you being very codependent and being a martyr, so to speak. And that's going to be so detrimental to your soul and your growth, or your continued growth if you are on the journey. And you have to do what's right by you at this point, even if that means losing them or letting them go. Now, some of you have already done that, okay? You've already done that. And for those of you that have already done that, you've ended the relationship, or you decided you can just be friends and whatever, right? There's death. If you've already done it, or if you're about to do it, of course, I feel like it's going to give this person a new outlook. That's for sure. A new direction. And what does that mean, a new direction? Oh, they're going to try to work on themselves. So I kind of feel like you need to be willing to lose this relationship fully. And you just need to explain, not maybe even not so much like I need you to change. You just kind of have to be more in, this isn't working out for me. And I feel like I've really tried to be there for you and do all of everything I need to do, but I'm losing myself in the process. And I love you very much. When you're ready to work on things and take the initiative, I need someone who's either going to stay or is going to be gone. Pick a lane. I'm picking my lane here. Either boss up and do the work that you need to do, or you're just going to be alone forever, or you're just going to keep going in and out. And I'm saying I'm speaking for you, to your person. And know that if they don't do what they need to do, they're going to just keep repeating this cycle in these relationships, okay? So now this is about you. Yeah. And so I do feel like if you have that conversation with them, and not say, hey, I'm leaving, and with the expectation that all of a sudden they're going to turn around and say, oh, no, don't go. I'm going to go to counseling tomorrow. That's they call that like a foxhole prayer. That's someone who just is trying to save face. until then the cycle repeats again, okay? This feels more like you need to be willing to leave. And whether or not you decide to allow this person to be in your life again, that's not their business. That's your business. And you don't need to tell them if you're going to give them another chance or not. You just need to say, I don't think this is, it's not going anywhere. I don't know what's going on here, but I can't be with someone that's unstable, in and out of my life, emotionally unstable, unwilling to get themselves in a secure place, because I need that, and I deserve to have someone that wants to be a partner with me, someone that's going to honor and respect our relationship and the commitment to the relationship. Yeah. And free yourself. And don't be fearful of being alone. You probably won't be alone very long, I'm sure. You probably already have other suitors, but I don't know that you really are looking for that. Maybe you are. Some of you might be. Some of you might just be like wanting to stay on your own. Okay? But I do feel like you being willing to leave, there's a better chance that there's a recovery that happens and a desire to actually do something with this relationship, in the sense that they're going to work on their side of the street. They're going to clean up their side of the street. You got to clean yours. Okay? You're living in a house. Which would you prefer? Would you prefer the front of the yard, the front yard to be clean, or the backyard? If you could only choose one. Because wherever you clean, that's where you got to stay. That's where, because I don't feel like whoever I'm talking to wants to sit in this mess anymore. You know what I mean? 9 of Swords in the reverse, okay? Have faith. Don't let your anxiety dictate to you what you can and can't do with this situation. Some people don't leave relationships and they put up with this chaos because it's familiar. And they wouldn't know what to do with themselves. They might actually have to redirect and look at themselves and start fulfilling themselves up with their happiness and their joy. Maybe even spending time with family, or going back to old friends that were dropped, or creating relationships that were once started but maybe ended or dropped because of this chaos, this stress, this mind-sucking time vacuum that you've been dealing with. Okay? Time vacuum. Sucking away all your time, your energy. It's not your job to fix people. You weren't put on this planet to save the world. Unless you have a calling, go for it. Or unless you're working in an industry where people are paying you to help them with things. But this is a personal relationship, and all you can do is set examples and then keep moving. And the right people will come into your life who will match your energy. So maybe this relationship started before you had your glow up. And you're processing all this now. And you can't beat yourself up for getting in a relationship with someone where your standards were lower. You can set your standards at any time. You can do a reset at any time. And you don't have to apologize for that. If you've learned and you're growing, you don't have to apologize for decisions you made prior to valuing yourself. Because if now you're in that position where, you know what, I value myself and I'm setting my standards now and going forth in a better position. That's in all your relationships, in all the decisions you've made in your life. It's time to start manifesting. Okay? So sometimes when you set those boundaries for yourself, you set a standard, a new standard, you raise the bar, you're going to have people who are going to be totally inspired by your growth and your change, and they want to follow you and be a part of your life. Excuse me. And then you're going to have others who are going to get pissed off now that they no longer have access to you. And those people, not a loss. because they were just vampires. So who is this person to you? Are they just trying to have access to you because they don't have what it takes to love themselves? Trying to get you to love them? And not returning it the way you need it? The right people will be in your life when you raise the bar, not only on yourself, but on what you expect from your relationships. Because when you start loving yourself and honoring yourself, you also treat other people better. Some of you were just over giving in some of these relationships, or maybe this one in particular, and letting too many things slide. And letting someone, and you were just kind of being, like I always say, especially if you're an empath without boundaries is a doormat. Through and through. So, do you want to be a doormat? I don't think you do. I think that when you're a doormat, people just keep walking over you, taking over. They don't respect. And then what happens? You begin to get angry, you get mad, you're frustrated, and it's like a pressure cooker. And then one day you explode, we'll say on this person, because you maybe felt guilty for setting a boundary, or you didn't want to have any drama or confrontation or whatever. And then you explode. There's a big fight. Y'all are not talking at all. There's a new problem now that's created. And then the worst part is some of you feel horrible for the way you exploded on your person. And what do? You wind up reaching back out and apologizing for causing the problem when the problem was just never fully resolved, because you were putting yourself in a position to not deal with it somewhere at some point. And then maybe even in that case, that person that you were dealing with, that you exploded on, maybe ran to somebody else. And then you're mad and you're calling them a cheater. And then this whole toxic pretzel twist happens. And then it's all confusing. You got to start with yourself. And if you've been giving clear, honest, direct intention with this person and giving thought to things and being self-sufficient and taking care of yourself, and some of you, if you've been doing that, you're done. You're tired. That's it. No more. And now the onus is on them. If they want to be with you, they need to step up. You've had growth, and if they're not growing along with you, then they got to go, because those types of people just become dead weight. You got to cut them out. And you'll find out who they are when you cut them out. You'll find out who they are seriously, not who you want them to be or not who you hope they'll be. Right? It's time to start manifesting and choose a new path if you haven't yet. You're at a crossroad now. You can go either way. You can stay where you are and choose not to cross the road and just keep accepting, or you can take a big risk in your life. I gotta know right now, do you love me? Do you love me forever? Do you need me? All right, music time. Who sang that song? A quick little music clip. I know you guys know. Come on, Gen Xers. Or baby boomers, come on. Who was it? Who sang the song? Name of the song, or who sang the song? All right, year of the goat, year of the ox, year of the monkey, year of the tiger, year of the rabbit, year of the dragon, year of the horse, year of the snake. Don't be afraid to not settle for what I'm just giving you a double negative. Let me rephrase that. Don't be afraid to go and receive what's best for you. Don't be afraid to let go of what's not working out for you. If fear's got you stuck, it's probably because this person keeps making hope, giving you hope and promises. Don't leave, don't leave. I'll change. I'll make things better. That can waste a lot of your time. I'll get better. I'll try. Don't pay attention to that. Those are projections. It's like someone being accused of murder and sitting in a courtroom and saying, well, I didn't intend to do it. I mean, your intentions don't freaking mean shit if you actually killed somebody. You know what I mean? It's the evidence. It's the facts. What I need to see what you're doing, not what you're wanting for or hoping for. Not someone who's kicking the can forward and say, well, in 6 months, we'll do this. In next year, we'll get married. No, why can't we do it now? I mean, I know there's some nuances to that at times, but or anyone that just keeps kicking the can forward is just wasting your time. And if you feel like this is what's going on, regardless of whether they're avoidant, whatever their issues are, you don't owe anyone anything. Who gave birth to you and said to you, now, here's what you're going to do for the rest of your life. You're going to play the martyr. You're going to be a doormat. And you're just going to accept whatever comes down the road, no matter what it is. And you're going to put yourself completely last. And you're going to take abuse. You're going to take people, you're just going to take it all. I don't know, where is that written? I have yet to see any kind of book or anything that said that that's a requirement for being a human being. In friendships, in career, in just everyday human things, in relationships in general. And I almost feel like in some circles, that's like a mind virus. I don't know where that came from. I feel like a lot of people are breaking out of that, right? A lot of people are evolving, growing to the next phase, healing that inner child and releasing this past energy. That's that butterfly stuff. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yep. Sudden change. Some of you are just gonna, telling you, give a tower moment here. You're changing. If you haven't done this already, I hope you do it. Some of you just need that little push of that little courage. It has nothing to do with not loving yourself, not loving this person. It has to do with self-respect. Because when you're walking around and you're not respecting yourself, nobody else is going to respect you either. You have to draw a sword sometimes. Some of you have already drawn your sword in this connection. Some of you have. But some of you, and you've ended it, and it's fine, you've moved on. Some of you are drawing your sword, and then you're taking your sword back again. And then you're taking it out later. And then you're pulling it back in. The Queen of Swords always is holding the sword. But look at her hand. She's also willing to talk at the same time. This is her boundary. We can have conversation. Don't be afraid of my sword. My sword is not going to cut you. My sword is just going to bring mental clarity and find and give cause to overcome struggles. It's blunt. It's not sharp. It's a blunt sword, but it's there to let you know that I'm not a doormat. You can come close, but the minute you get out of line, slash! You're not going to hurt anybody with a blunt sword. At least I don't think. Boundaries. The theme for the summer. Boundaries. Practice your boundaries. And if you're that person that struggles to put boundaries up because you don't want confrontation, you just want peace at all times, well, everybody wants that, you know? But there are times where you got to say, no, that's not for me. No offense. Doesn't mean you're bad. It's just not for me. Are you going to go into an ice cream shop with a friend? Your friend wants strawberry. You hate strawberry. Are you going to get strawberry because your friend likes it? Or you're like, hell no. Give me that toffee chocolate crunch. Give me the messy ice cream. That's what I want because that's what I like. Right? Yeah. Healthy choices. Self-love and self-care, being happier, loving life. The freedom that comes with setting a boundary, or 2 or 3, or setting those standards it's gold. It's nothing you'll ever feel before. It's scary if you're not used to doing it, or if you're that person that doesn't like, or has a fear of confrontation, doesn't want to deal with it. Some people just want to run. They just ghost because they can't set a boundary. And that's often, ghosters do that. They disappear because they don't want to be the bad person. They don't want to be disliked. They don't want to be hated. They might just be people pleasers never set boundaries. They don't. People pleasers, they don't set boundaries. They explode later. They're like a pressure cooker. And they're dangerous. People pleasers they have the potential to be very, very dangerous because they hold everything in. They hold it in, they hold it in, they hold it in, and they either take it out on themselves or somebody else. You know? Because they explode. They get so frustrated because they're doing so much for everyone and people are still taking advantage of them. And they don't have the ability to just set boundaries within relationships without fear of confrontation or pushback. They lack the security. And it's not they versus them. Everybody goes through that at one point in their life, especially if somebody's been involved in a traumatic situation. That tends to be the residual that's left over because it was so traumatic. They just want to keep the peace. They don't want any problems, but that's not healthy either because life is challenging. Life can be challenging, and the only real alternative is if you go live in a mountain, in a cave somewhere. Hermit, you know? But doing so, then there's isolation, and then there's loneliness. You know, and it's like I say, everybody feels pain at some point or another. You either deal with the pain now, or you just deal with it later. But eventually you're going to have to. And if it's hard to set a boundary, if it's difficult to speak up for yourself, practice with a friend. Try it. You know, unless you're in, if you're in a very, let me just say, narky kind of situation with someone, I mean, if you set a boundary and stand up for yourself with those people, yeah, it is a hard time. It really is. And sometimes the best boundary you can set up with those people is either a full gray rock or you completely block them. But that's a different reading and a different time. This is maybe more so someone, as I said, I feel like there was some kind of trauma that they just have a huge fear. Okay. PKRC. Parker. JVFG. Scorpio. Somebody's birthday's on the 5th. Taurus. Virgo. Taurus again. Okay. All right, we got the 7th, 57, 75, 53. We have the 3rd. All right, we have the 15th, the 13th, the 17th. Okay, also the 1st. All right, you've got the 8th, 13 again. You have the 4th. You have the 18th and the 14th. Charm time. All right, you got a frog, a little froggy. Leapfrog, leaping from one thing to the next. Leaping, leaping, leaping. Also, you have an avocado, okay? Some kind of connection to that. It's funny because I'm growing an avocado tree in a pot outside. And it's coming along so beautifully. It's like my highlight of my day, believe it or not. Every time I look at it, I love it. I'm just like, oh my God, you're growing. It's so beautiful. I sing to it. I put it out in the sun. I make sure it gets watered. Like, I have like such incredible love for this avocado plant. It's like, I think it's going to take like 30 years for this thing to even sprout avocados, but I don't care. I'm just, it is what it is. You also have a music. Somebody might be into, or not into, or it's just something, connection to some kind of, well, they just said moody blues, or a connection to some kind of blues music, or maybe some sad songs. Hey. Somebody go, somebody love. No. Do-do-do-do-do. Who's that, Neil Diamond? Yeah, I can't remember the words. I have like 2 different songs playing in my head. Yeah, there's peace. Okay. I understand. Everybody wants to keep the peace. We don't want to go around fighting all the time, right? But what do they say? Peace through strength. If you want peace, you must be strong, not weak. If you want peace, you have to be strong. So you can apply that however that means. And I'm just feeling that, you know. You got to be strong to have peace. Some people are going to be in your life and there are people out there who just want chaos. They just want chaos. They have no boundaries. Because when you have boundaries, you don't want chaos. They go hand in hand, right? Boundaries go hand in hand with peace. People who are causing problems do not have boundaries. Yeah, anyway, I feel like that was enough of a reading. Go ahead and book your readings with me if you need to. If you want to even like touch upon this, definitely we can. You know, a little therapeutic tarot card reading. So I'm going to leave it there. Hope you guys have a good night. I'll see you all back here tomorrow. Of course, thank you to the mods, Melly, Jason, Jacqueline, Persephone, and Charity. If she's still here, I'm not sure. I know she's been busy. And everybody in the chat, I will see you back here later. Bye.
Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was the only one.